What if the person you never imagined loving became the only one who could change your heart forever? From author Nicholas Sparks comes the unforgettable love story of Landon Carter and Jamie Sullivan, the high school seniors whose chance encounter leads them on an unexpected journey of romance and self-discovery. And this is a walk to remember. It was the late 1950s in the quiet town of Beaufort, North Carolina. High school was almost over, and Landon Carter had his whole future ahead of him. He was a senior at Beaufort High School and the most popular boy in school. Girls loved his good looks and charming personality, while other guys admired his rebellious streak and daredevil attitude. Landon was always up for a good time, but unfortunately, he rarely thought about the consequences of his actions. One day, Landon and his friends decided to play a prank on their classmates. They snuck into the school and hung a dead fish from the ceiling fan above the girls' bathroom. However, they hadn't considered that one of the students would come in just as Landon was escaping. The girl screamed when she saw the fish falling towards her, and everyone started shouting. Before he knew it, Landon was surrounded by angry students. Landon had never been in trouble before and didn't know what to do. He tried to apologize, but the other students wouldn't listen. They wanted revenge. Eventually, the school principal stepped in and decided to punish Landon. He forced him to do community service and participate in the school play. As a popular guy, Landon was used to doing whatever he wanted. He was furious about the punishment, but he had no choice but to follow the rules. While searching for a play to participate in, Landon met Jamie Sullivan, a shy and reserved girl who was helping out with the production. Landon was immediately drawn to Jamie, but he couldn't understand why. She was completely different from the girls he usually dated. Jamie was the daughter of the town's Baptist minister, and she dressed modestly, always wearing conservative clothes that covered her body. She also prayed constantly and read the Bible whenever she had free time. The other students often made fun of Jamie because of her strong faith and traditional values. They called her a freak and mocked her for being different. Landon didn't understand why Jamie was so interested in theater. He thought it was silly and pointless, but he was determined to make the best of the situation. As rehearsals continued, Landon and Jamie spent more time together. They had nothing in common, and Landon still didn't understand why he was attracted to Jamie. He was used to dating girls who were interested in partying and having fun, not someone who spent all their time praying and reading the Bible. Despite their differences, Landon and Jamie started to become friends. He began to notice that she was a kind and humble person who didn't let the other students bullying get to her. One day during a rehearsal, Landon and Jamie were alone on stage, and he noticed something that made him stop in his tracks. Jamie was singing, and her voice was beautiful. It was clear that she had a natural talent for music and performing. Her voice was sweet and pure, just like her. Landon couldn't help but stare at her as she sang, and he realized that he had never seen anyone like Jamie before. From that moment on, Landon started to develop feelings for Jamie. He found himself thinking about her all the time, and he couldn't understand why. He had never been attracted to girls who were as religious and modest as Jamie. But as he spent more time with her, he began to realize that there was more to her than just her face. Jamie was a beautiful girl inside and out, and Landon couldn't help but fall in love with her. Despite his growing feelings for Jamie, Landon was still struggling to understand why he was attracted to her. He had never liked girls who were interested in things like church and religion. But Jamie was different. She was beautiful, kind and humble, and she didn't let the other students bullying get to her. Landon couldn't help but feel drawn to her, even though he didn't understand why. As rehearsals continued, Landon and Jamie grew closer, and their friendship deepened. He began to open up to her about his feelings, and she listened patiently. One night, Landon finally worked up the courage to tell Jamie how he felt about her. He confessed that he loved her and asked her to go out with him. Landon was nervous when he told Jamie how he felt, but she surprised him when she said yes. After their first date, Landon was sure that he had made the right decision. He realized that Jamie was the girl he wanted to be with, and he couldn't imagine his life without her. Together, they were the perfect couple. Well, at least in Landon's eyes. Unfortunately, Jamie's father wasn't happy about his daughter dating a popular guy like Landon. He didn't think that Landon was a good influence on Jamie, and he tried to keep them apart. Despite her father's disapproval, Landon and Jamie continued to date in secret. They stole moments together whenever they could, and their love grew stronger with each passing day. As prom night approached, Landon couldn't wait to ask Jamie to be his date. He knew that she would say yes, and he was so happy that he had found the girl of his dreams. Unfortunately, on the night of the prom, Landon and Jamie's relationship took a turn for the worse. While getting ready for the dance, Jamie received a phone call from her father, who told her that he knew she was dating Landon. He was furious and told Jamie that she was not allowed to see him again. Heartbroken, Jamie refused to go to the prom with Landon, and he was devastated. He didn't understand why she would choose her father's wishes over their relationship. Landon was furious at Jamie's father for breaking them apart. He didn't understand why the minister had a problem with his daughter dating a popular guy like Landon. He felt that the minister was being unfair, and he vowed to make him regret it. Landon confronted the minister, but he was shocked when the minister told him that he knew about Landon's past and he didn't think that he was a good influence on his daughter. Landon was stunned. He had never told anyone about his past, and he didn't understand how the minister knew about it. The minister explained that he had heard rumors about Landon's behavior, and he wanted to protect his daughter from him. Landon was ashamed of his past, and he knew that the minister was right. He had made some bad decisions in his life, but he had never meant for anyone to get hurt. As Landon walked away from the minister's house, he realized that he needed to change. He had never taken responsibility for his actions before, but he knew that he had to if he wanted to win back Jamie's love. Determined to make a change, Landon began volunteering at the local soup kitchen and animal shelter. He also started spending more time with his family and friends. For the first time in his life, Landon felt a sense of purpose and fulfillment. He realized that helping others and making a difference in the world was more important than being popular or having fun, and through it all, Landon never gave up on Jamie. He continued to pray that she would forgive him and take him back. One day, Landon saw Jamie at the local library. He worked up the courage to talk to her and apologize for how he had treated her. He explained that he had changed and that he still loved her. Jamie was shocked by Landon's transformation. She couldn't believe that the same guy who had broken her heart was standing in front of her, apologizing and asking for a second chance. Despite her shock, Jamie knew that she still loved Landon. She forgave him and agreed to start dating again. They began seeing each other regularly, and Landon proved to Jamie that he had changed. He was no longer the selfish and reckless guy she had known in high school. Instead, he was a kind, compassionate young man who was committed to making a difference in the world. Together, Landon and Jamie made plans for the future. They talked about going to college and getting jobs. They also discussed their faith and how they could serve the Lord together. Landon knew that Jamie was the girl he wanted to marry one day, and he couldn't wait to ask her. However, Landon and Jamie's relationship was put to the ultimate test when Jamie's father fell ill and went into the hospital. Landon was by Jamie's side the whole time, offering her support and comfort. He knew that her father was very important to her, and he wanted her to know that he was there for her. When Jamie's father passed away, Landon was heartbroken for her. He knew that she was grieving, and he did everything he could to help her through it. He attended the funeral with her and offered his condolences to her family. In the weeks that followed, Landon continued to be there for Jamie. He helped her with everyday tasks and listened to her as she talked about her grief. He knew that she needed someone to lean on, and he was happy to be that person for her. Through it all, Landon's love for Jamie only grew stronger. He realized that she was the most important person in his life, and he couldn't imagine his future without her. One day, Landon worked up the courage to ask Jamie to marry him. He got down on one knee and presented her with a beautiful ring. Jamie was shocked but overjoyed. She had always dreamed of getting married and starting a family, and she couldn't wait to spend the rest of her life with Landon. The wedding was a small but beautiful ceremony. Landon and Jamie exchanged vows in front of their closest family and friends. They were both beaming with happiness and excitement for their future together. After the ceremony, Landon and Jamie went on their honeymoon. They traveled to the Outer Banks and stayed in a cozy cottage. They spent their days exploring the beach and their nights cuddling up by the fireplace. Back home, Landon and Jamie began planning their future together. They talked about buying a house and starting a family. They also continued to serve the Lord and help others in need. Landon had truly changed, and he was grateful to Jamie for helping him become a better person. Throughout their marriage, Landon and Jamie faced challenges, but they always worked through them together. They knew that they were blessed to have found each other, and they were grateful for every moment they shared. Many years later, Landon sat on the porch of his house and reminisced about his life with Jamie. He smiled as he thought back to the day they first met. He couldn't believe how lucky he was to have found a woman as loving and devoted as Jamie. Landon knew that Jamie was the one who had given him strength and purpose in life. Her love had guided him long after she was gone. And that's the end of our story. Do you find this love story romantic and inspiring? Let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to share this video with your loved ones, and we'll see you next time.